Well, the Dow Jones is up over 400 points as I'm recording this. It's about 11 a.m. on Thursday, October 7th. Hey, everybody. My name is JJ. You're watching Bull, Boom, Bear, Bust. So just as we suspected, the debt ceiling has they've come to an agreement, basically. The left, the right, a short-term extension of the debt ceiling. It's not a permanent extension. They do want to completely eliminate the debt ceiling. Right now, it's just the short-term extension is going to get us to sometime in December. And then we'll see extended again and kick the can down the road once again, in my guess, in my opinion, unless something drastic happens. This is the way that it's going to continue. So all major indexes in the green today, even with a lot of bad economic news. We're going to talk about some of that news here. But yes, as we predicted or forecast, a compromise was reached between the two parties. And as I said, why would someone not make a compromise when, if they don't make the compromise, they'll be the one to blame for all of the bloodshed and all of the carnage that would result from not increasing the debt ceiling? And yes, there would be literal carnage, and probably people not even surviving if the debt ceiling was not increased. Because when you stop paying out these support checks to people, all these programs that people rely on a monthly check, pick your program, but lots of people need monthly checks sent to them. And it's not just that, it would be retirement programs, pensions. You would see a freeze up in the American way of life once the debt were to stop. So yes, it has to be a never-ending increase of the debt ceiling. It's debt to infinity. Otherwise, this whole system comes to a screeching halt. Worse than a screeching halt, it would come crashing down. And I'm not sure if anybody knows how many people would or wouldn't survive, but my guess is over half of the U.S. population would not even survive such a economic change or event. Now, technically, what they could do is they could stop propping up Wall Street. They could stop all the corporate bailouts, all the corporate welfare, and instead help the actual people, the people that actually do the work. And what are most people going to do with the money anyway if you do give it to them? They're probably going to go out and spend it and hand it over to some large company, some large corporation, right? So corporations still win in the end. Corporate America. That's the American way, and essentially America is a corporation. Many people would agree with that. And when you look at the model, it's very similar to a corporation. It's run from the top down. Most of the wealth gets shifted to or kept at the top. You have a workforce that makes a fraction of what the people at the top make, similar to what you'd see at a company with the CEO at the top versus the salaries of the frontline workers. And in this case, instead of having a CEO, you've got a bunch of people in suits at the very top. And as we found out here recently, a lot of those people at the top in suits, they work for the money printers, and they're able to buy and trade stocks based on what's going to be purchased by the money printer. So you can call it unfair, pick your word. But maybe that's what the American people get for just not paying attention, not really understanding or even caring to understand what's really happening. While people are making TikTok videos and doing makeup tips on whatever video platform, this is the type of system that they are not really paying attention to. So with that, many people would say this is what the people, it's what they deserve, it's what they get. So here on this channel, I think we are more aware than most, and I think that's going to help us here in the long run. But let's talk about some of the numbers that came out here. And the markets shook it off because of the debt, the increase in the debt ceiling has been kicked the can down the road once again, as we predicted. So the markets love it. But look at this news today. Another 326,000 new jobless filings. So we're still shedding over 1 million jobs a month. Over 1 million jobs a month. And yet the markets, no regard for what's really happening with the jobs. The real unemployment number is still over 26%. It's still stuck above that number. It's been stuck above that number now for over a year, going on 2 years. Right? The economy is absolutely crumbling. Now, when I say economy, not for everybody. The Wall Street economy doing great. If you're an investor, you're probably doing very well. Even your 401k is probably looking pretty good. Your home equity probably looking pretty good. But ask yourself, are you making enough investing, or are you making enough in these other areas where prices are rising? Your home equity, is it enough to keep up with the rising cost of living? Or are you one of, like most Americans, that are getting further into debt at this time? And maybe it's worse. Maybe you're one of the tens of millions of people that still cannot pay their rent. And if you're lucky enough to live in an area, a city, a state that still has the eviction moratorium, maybe your the roof over your head is on borrowed time. Now, the positive spin that they put on this article was that this was less than expected, right? So you could always say it's less than expected. Less than who expected? You could pick one or two quote unquote experts, and you could say, oh, they expected 500,000 and now it's 326,000. Isn't this great news? But when you look at it, it's still 1 million plus per month people, new jobless filings. Not good news when you really look at just the raw data. All right, for example, this could go up to 380,000 next week, and they could still say this is great news because there's an economist over here that said it might be 400,000. Rah, good news, only 380,000. That could happen next week. We'll have to keep an eye on it. But we're not even close to pre-pandemic levels right now. All right, folks, it all goes back to the money printer. Money printer goes burr. That's been a popular meme on social media. And I'm not sure if anybody knows if the printing's ever going to stop. Some people say it has to stop at some point. Other people say, look at other countries that saw hyperinflation. It never stopped in those countries. And some of those countries now are just taking zeros off of their bill denominations, trying to compensate for the devaluation of the currency. The U.S. is also looking at some similar tactics here. We're talking about minting a $1 trillion coin. So we're headed in that direction where a piece of paper or a coin is going to be looked at in trillions of dollars of value, even though it's really just the same coin. It's the same piece of paper. And sure, they'll probably try to use a more expensive substance like platinum, because if they made it out of copper, that would be even more ridiculous. But even platinum's still ridiculous. Platinum coin's not worth $1 trillion. And the piece of paper that has all those ones and zeros or whatever denomination it has on it is a piece of paper. But as long as the people that are taking the piece of paper as payment, as long as they trust that it has value, then it will still hold value. But trust is eroding as we see prices continue to rise. We're seeing shortages. Let's talk about the appliance shortage next. Recent Wall Street Journal article, appliances, you may have to wait 180 days or more until your oven arrives. Other appliances are also seeing major delays. Quote here, customers stuck without refrigerators and stoves find creative solutions. And this is another drag on home building and furnishing homes and people just wanting to upgrade. And this article goes on to talk about a lot of things that we've discussed here on this channel. And we also see delays in piping, cabinets, other needed parts. A shortage of skilled workers means that scheduling plumbers, electricians, and countertop cutters has become more difficult. Folks, we have a country where the majority of the people do not have any real life skills. So are things about to change for the better? Are we going to get a surge of people that have all these skills and they can fix your appliances? And is there going to be a big surge of jobs coming back to the U.S.? Well, no, not really. Nothing's really being done to change this direction. It's just more stimulus, more debt, more market propping, more payout programs to help the people that can't afford the rising prices because of the shortages and all the other problems that we have. Nothing's being done to reverse this. People are still going to college for the same types of degrees. Bottom line is prepare. Things are going to continue to get worse. Prices are going to rise. Production is being destroyed in this country and around the world. And bottom line is top-down destruction. So continue to prepare. Markets will continue to fly unless somebody pulls a plug on the money printer. Don't see that happening. Let me know if you see it happening. What do you see in your area? Please let me know down below. Thanks everybody for watching. Keep stacking. Stay well. Stay safe. Stay prepared. Bye for now.